If you want to go for it, VM.
Nice one, mate. Alright, so welcome to the Champions of the Catacombs, guys. Second episode, I guess this would be for you. Fucking, yeah, mate. Right, yep, sick. So the creature just pulls out a, what do you recognise as a abyssal chicken from the bag. But now he's got a bit of a hood on. As it's getting late, things are getting a little bit chilly. And he passes you a knife, Baku,
Yes.
and holds the chicken on the table. Chicken's borderline sleeping at this stage, which is strange for abyssal chickens.
Okay.
And he's actually make a Arcana check.
Sure. 16.
Okay, all right, cool. So you'll realize this is a bit of a blood pact because they offered to be your patrons. So what you can expect is that they'd want you to each slice a bit of the chicken, put some blood on your hand, and then slice that blood into your hand.
Mm.
In fact, the one-eyed creature does it first.
And then hands the knife to me.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. I am going to grab the knife and I'm going to throw it right next to his head so it lodges into like the booth behind him.
So ungrateful. Right. Interesting. Definitely caught me off guard.
I mean, I've already made that mistake once. I ain't doing it again.
All right. So the creature kind of recoils a little bit.
Mhm.
It tilts its head almost to like a 15-degree angle. Kind of narrows its eyelids, like, what the fuck are you doing? Kind of thing. Like, where did this come from? Goes and picks up the knife, puts the chicken back. Now, my dear, it seems you don't want to agree to our little pact. It's only for loyalty. Is there a problem or concern that you have? One of the faceless sisters asked.
Um. So, interesting. Sorakath looks at the one-eyed creature right in its big old eye and says, "You need to prove yourself first." Okay. Let me say. Let me elaborate. You need to prove your power first before offering me anything.
And why would we have to prove anything to you?
If you want me to swear my loyalty, then you'll need to prove how powerful you are.
All right. All right. One of the sisters snaps their fingers, and that one-eyed creature pulls out an item from a bag. It looks like a talisman, and hands it to you. If you choose to compete in the catacombs, you will need this. But keep it hush hush, as new entries usually aren't allowed such magical items.
Can I investigate the talisman? See what
Sure.
Yep. Would that be investigation, Arcana?
Yeah, roll a Arcana check.
18.
From the history of your teachings, like with your mentor back in the day.
Penna's the one with mentor, but yep, sure. General schooling or whatever.
Yeah, I know, but in order to learn stuff, you'd also have a mentor of some kind.
Alright.
You'd recognize this maybe like in the books of legends or something
Alright.
as a amulet of ultimate evil. Does this suffice, young one? We only ask that you use it subtly, as it's not such a subtle item.
Subtly, did you say?
Yes.
I put the talisman in my pocket and nod. And then I say, we shall see about that.
Alright. So as you have not yet obtained a patron, unfortunately not us yet, you will have to find your own way of buying items, as it is usually put onto the patron's tab. This includes enchantments, oddities, familiarities, everything in between. For the markets tomorrow morning.
I just reply with, that is fine. And then I look towards Vishara expectantly.
Good night to you, young one.
That's my cue.
Well, if you're getting up and walking anyway, then they're bidding farewell.
Yep. I'm fine with. I'm just confused, Panda, as to what the fuck you're doing. You're sitting here the entire time just watching this.
I'm confused.
Yeah,
the interaction was starting with you.
Yes, but you're also. This is starting exactly where we left off last game. Which means you are right next to me.
But I haven't been interacting with you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go around and scout the inn for a bit longer before returning to my chambers.
Fantastic. Before you get up to go, one of the sisters slides you a rune-covered stone. Looks like a piece of slate with a few random runes on it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If you will not sign up to the accessibility of our generous offer, let us at least host you for tonight.
Sure.
And then you would get up and move off.
Yep.
The three figures almost look at you, Panda. Are you? Yes, you're in the same little team as that one, yes?
I am indeed.
So where do your loyalties lie?
I will do the package.
Good to know that you know the importance of loyalty. And the importance of one's resources, of course. The creature will jump off the table, going almost like in a cartoon fashion, pulling a sword out of a stone, but it's more on a 90-degree angle with where Sorokath lodged the knife into the side of the table behind. Pulls out the knife, gets the chicken back out, and then offers you the knife after very carefully slicing their own hand.
What did I have to do again? I had to slice my hand. Right?
with the blood of the creature and the chicken.
Wait, what?
Roll me a Arcana check, please. Oh yeah, that's ETS. So you'll know this as a blood pact, if not a temporary one.
Yep.
So you would, well, the host of the blood pact would slice their hand with the blood of a living creature, then pass the sacrificial knife to you, and you would do the same, combining your blood with theirs. So this creature then slits their palm, and then hands the blade to you. For sure.
I follow suit and slip my palm as well.
Roll me a wisdom check. Just a flat wisdom check.
Oh, what? A wisdom check.
Please. 9, okay. So as you slice your hand slowly, you're halfway through the cut, and you start having these visions, almost like PTSD, of when you first took the knife from the when you first took the knife and established your agreement with your patron.
Hexblade one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of rattles you around a bit, but it's not the worst kind of feeling.
Yep.
And a few seconds later, you come back to the creature kind of snapping its fingers in front of you, making sure that you're still, with us. Are you all good with the blood, my dear? You seem to fade out on us.
Picking up the blade brought back old memories. That is all.
A past chef, maybe. Interesting. All right. As it's getting late, I'll give you your runestone, and we shall see you later. They slide you a piece of slate. On it is particular runes, but it's a different color from the one they slid Sorokath. This one's a little more red and red tainted. Almost
Wait.
like they're symbolizing the advantages of being in the Blood Pact.
Wait. I didn't do blood pact though, right?
You didn't.
Pardon? No, you didn't.
You didn't.
Like, I'm confused.
you
What's
had not.
happening?
I formed a blood pact.
Yeah.
But I have a different looking room card.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
He gets the VIP treatment.
Pog.
Basically. Well, he's got a patron and Baku doesn't, so
Yes,
of course,
yes.
there's going to be advantages to either. Fantastic. So the hunched up creatures start getting up and then moving off, kind of like in a single file, with the one-eyed creature sitting on the shoulders of, kind of like a juvenile child, sitting on the shoulders of the middle hunched over character. And as they get up and walk off, they say, "Welcome to the sisterhood, dearie, of the faceless." A couple of them cackle as they walk off. What would you like to do?
They've walked off, right?
They're slowly kind of waddling / walking off, limping off.
Pick up my runestone, and nod towards them, and then leave to my.
Fantastic. So the way these stones work is you walk up to the outside wall of the inn. We're still remaining inside. Excuse me. And you would place it against the wall, almost like another portal opens up, revealing a corridor of about 10 to 20 rooms. And then when you enter, the runes on the door that's reserved for you light up. And then, well, you go from there. So each of you go to your rooms.
Mhm.
Or rather, Baku, did you say you were going to yours previously?
I said I was gonna have a look around the inn before I go back to my room.
Okay, cool. So you see Vishara get up and then activate their slate greenstone against a wall. They go through.
Okay, awesome. I'm looking for people. I'm specifically looking for people with the Satchel of the Catacomb.
Okay, perception check, please. Because there's still quite a lot going on.
22.
Fantastic. So you'll see a few walking away from the section of the middle of the inn where you saw the flayed one. Not flayed one. The pale kind of Cthulhu-looking motherfucker. The Mind Flayer, rather.
Yep. So they're walking out of the inn? Or they just... Like, what are they doing?
So the Mind Flayer itself is counting chips, things like that. Everyone's in a very orderly line.
So there are people waiting in line with the satchels
Yes.
on. I'm specifically looking for people who aren't in the line but around the inn.
Right.
With the satchels on.
You see a couple of halflings downing their last drinks. They're starting to get up from one of the tables.
Alright.
Solid nat 20.
Yeah, I know, right? Alright, so I walk towards the halflings, looking, well, just like I'm trying to walk past them. I'm trying to go somewhere, like trying to go to the bar or gambling table or whatever I see past them.
With a perception check,
Perception.
they look like they're professional brawlers,
Jesus
like hand-to-hand combatants.
Alright, so
They've got like hoods on. They've got these scarves for masks, but they do represent their crest on their shoulder. Very passionate-looking people about their trade.
for fuck's sake. You said they're having their last drinks. Can I see how, like, if they're intoxicated?
Sure, roll a investigation check. How far away are you?
I don't know.
How far away would you like to be? Currently, I'd say about 40 feet, something like that.
Sure, that's fine. 8.
8. Okay. They look like they're pretty much finishing up their drinks like before. You can't really see specifically how much they have left, but they're tilting their heads back a fair way as they have a swig. Almost like there's not much left in their cups.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna walk, not up to them, I'm gonna walk past them and sort of bump into them whilst trying to yoink one of the satchels.
So this... okay. Roll sleight of hand. Are you trying to be stealthy?
17. Not particularly stealthy. Like, obviously in the taking of it, but like it seems like I was just maybe a bit too drunk, bumped into them, and then like kept walking.
Alright. So with that, when you go to pull out the satchel, you'll notice that there's a few pins and nearly like locks on them with a very ornate pinhole. Almost like the lock was built into the belt or satchel itself. You pull at it, but you don't alert the characters.
Okay.
They just kind of look behind you like, what the fuck, it's another random drunk, whatever.
Yep.
On your way, would you? Try to enjoy a drink here.
Alright.
As you bump into them.
Soulcast just ignores them and sighs, and then walks back to his room. Oh well, does the same slate ring thing, and yeah, he returns to his chambers.
So the Huffling table is up against one of the walls anyway, so you bump into them, and then probably bump into the wall trying to, cover up your tracks, make sure that they actually think you are drunk.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you'd be fucked.
Yeah, it would be.
Then you put the rune stone on the rune slate on the wall.
Mhm.
The portal opens up. You walk through. Opens up a corridor, and your what seems to be your room is blinking all the way down to the left-hand side. You pass a couple of creatures, the usual stuff in and in.
Yeah.
Roll a perception check.
On it. Perception. 7.
You hear a couple of random creatures mumbling about if they should steal items or not. Another one saying that they literally had their fingers chopped off for doing so in this area. But nothing too interesting, really. But like they're fucking embarrassed about it, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
That they actually got caught.
Alright, cool. Alright, I'm gonna go to bed.
Alright, cool. You enter your room. It doesn't look like there's too much there. The bare minimum essentials. You got a stone on the bedside table that looks like a fantasy lamp, some cool engravings. You got a wardrobe, but that's about it.
Awesome.
Obviously, the bed itself.
Yes.
Whereas Vishara, you walk into your room, you've got like multiple clothing sets that look rather refined.
Mhm.
You've got a multiple of choice with anything. You open up the drawers, you've got towels, you've got these strange rune encrusted tablets. You've got this plant that's in the bottom drawer. Almost looks like a good berry tree, like for snacks and things. So the small apartment's pretty decked out for you.
Cool.
And that's pretty much it. What do you guys want to do now? I'm guessing you're taking a long rest.
Yes.
Fantastic. So you all go to sleep. Now, Pale.
Yes.
So with your adventures, you and your adopted family, excuse me, rather the ones who raised you,
Another died ages ago.
are the and friends of the ones who raised you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The orcs.
Because they're a lot less short-lived than elves.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the orcs. The orcs take you to this mysterious realm. But they're traders, and you've got a couple of shamans in the adopted family, or friends of family. But most of them are pretty straight, hard-working smiths. And you've got 3 that work the smith, and you've got off on your daily adventures. So you wake up to this shaman jiggling beads in your face with feathers and such attached. What do you want to do?
Well, he stands up, just completely gets up as quickly as he can, roars to the heavens. Good morning, world! The great Swaggerless Maximus is here again, ready to spread his glory for another day. He says in Orcish, because they're all orcs, obviously.
The shaman jumps back because, well, you got up suddenly. They don't seem stunned, but they're ready for you to do that because that's, I'm assuming, how you would usually, wake up.
Or 100%.
Yeah. So they jump back like excitedly, and they've got a bowl of some product ready for your breakfast.
Ah, fantastic! Breakfast is ready! And here I thought I would have slept in too late. Don't mind if I do, he says before naturally partaking in his breakfast.
Fantastic. The meal kind of looks like ground oats with a little bit of bone meal on it. You can smell herbs, local, some exotic spices, things like that. It's a pretty decent meal for the size of the bowl. But it's rather soothing on the gut. And you feel even more energetic than you did before.
Fantastic. What an excellent meal. Thank you very much.
The shaman takes the bowl, nods at you, just throws it on a table, pulls out a letter from the back pocket, passes it to you, almost like shakes it with like a jazz hand motion. They look excited.
Are they going to speak or?
No, they're just kind of like shaking it towards you, waiting for you to grab it.
Weird that they're suddenly so silent this morning, but okay. Ah, what is this? He says as he takes it and immediately opens it.
It's a you open the letter, it's got the ivory increst on it. It's an invitation for the Champions of the Catacombs, the once a year event that happens in this region.
Ah, well, naturally there's my invitation. After all, I am the greatest champion to grace these lands.
The shaman nods, opens the tent door, the fabric folds back, signals for you to jump out so they can start with their magical shit.
Easy. He grabs his axe and heads on out.
Fantastic. So you walk out, you notice all of these carts everywhere. And there's roll me a perception check, please. 23. Fucking awesome. Good shit.
Thank you.
Being in that 20 for audio's sake. So yeah, you notice these tribes of random ass creatures. You've got halflings, you've got a massive traveling circus of tiefling bards, you've got orcs similar to the clan that your friends are part of. You've got other halflings being the carts being pulled by 3 large drakes, but they still look juvenile. You've got just it looks like a chaotic fantasy car park. Just people setting up stalls and markets everywhere. What do you want to do?
Looks around to see if there's anywhere that there's fighting for entertainment.
With that roll, I'd say there's a couple of rolls going on. You know, just casual hand-to-hand combats, people sparring.
Fantastic. He'll approach the closest one.
Fantastic, indeed. So you approach a large circle off to the not so populated side. There's 3 fights going on. They look like they're all teammates, but they're going pretty hardcore fisticuff combat. Like the teammates versing each other and stuff, practicing their skills, try not to be the first one onto the ground. So you've got a couple of orcs, you've got 4 tieflings, and you've got a couple of halflings as well. Like they're all trying to avoid each other, but have a decent combat in this large circle of onlookers. A few people passing around bets and such, with gold coins, bags of coins, these paper objects being passed around, the certificates of, authenticity. So like they actually mean business with this little betting circle. As proof as they're not going to run off with, money that they're not deserved.
Okay. He tries to see if there's anyone nearby who's eager to get into a fight.
How do you do that?
He looks around to see if there's anyone like himself who's raring to go, and otherwise he looks to see if there's anyone who looks like they're managing all of these sorts of bets. see if he can work his way in.
There looks like there's a elf or two managing the bets on the side and a small table. But there
Fantastic.
doesn't seem to be any as pale as yourself, specifically.
Well, he approaches the table, and naturally, it's honestly a surprise that he managed to fit through the crowd with how big his ego is, but naturally he opens with, "Hello, gentlemen. I'm here for a battle. Surely there's an opponent for me, and some winnings should I be able to take him?"
They look up at you. They look almost horrified. Roll me a history check. 19. God damn. You're rolling hot today. So the Shadow, Shadow Kai, rather, were known as the Cursed Founding for whichever reason through the Elven race and Elven sub-races. Banished for whatever reason to a plane of shadow. So, that being said, you can understand why these people look a bit horrified.
Well, then they better throw up a worthy challenger.
Like, they're not scared of your form. It's more the fact that you are a Shadow Kai. It's said to bring on bad luck to those around. Whether it's through racist pricks just spreading rumors or just solid believers of voodoo.
And
You'll know this from your shaman friends.
Nice. Well,
The,
they'll be on their way after they fucking give him someone to fight.
Let's go. Yeah. I send my memes to you. FaceTime you when you're blue.